Now once you've set up a basic Express app, the next thing to do is to tell Express where to find all the view files, all the HTML files. To do that, we're going to use app.set, and the first argument would be views followed by path.join, use double underscore dir name comma views. Now app.set essentially sets up a key value pair where the key is views, which defines the view folder, and the path where it should look for the views folder is defined by path.join the current directory, that is the root directory, followed by the views folder that we have already set up inside our app folder. Now since we are using the path module, let's import the path module as well. So I'm going to put a comma here, and we're going to say path is equal to require path. Once you have done that, there are a couple of other things that we will do. By default, or let's say the most common convention in Express is to use the Jade templating engine. I'm not going to use the Jade template engine in this case. We're going to use our HTML files as they are, and instead we will use the Hogan templating engine. To use the Hogan templating engine, what we will do is we will set app.engine to use HTML. That is the templating engine inside of Express should render HTML files, and the method which it should use to render those pages is defined by the Hogan Express module. So before we can use Hogan Express, let's install Hogan Express. So I'm just going to go into the folder, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say npm space install Hogan Express, which is a Hogan module designed for Express.js, and followed by -- save. Alright, so once we have the Hogan Express module installed, the next thing to do is to set app.set view engine to use the HTML files. And finally, what we also need to do is we need to set the Express static attribute, which lets Express find all the static asset files like the CSS files or the images. To do that, we will set app.use to express.static, and where exactly should it look for the static files, all the CSS files, is in the path.join the root folder and append the public folder to the root folder. So that's how the path is created. So essentially what will happen here is it will find your root folder, and it will attach the public folder along with it, and this would be the folder where it will look for all your static files. So once I have this thing done, I'm just going to go back into the default route that we created earlier, and instead of just sending plain HTML over to the pipe, what we're going to do is we're going to say response.render. Now that we have a templating engine, we can render files, and we're going to render the index file, which is essentially inside of the views folder, the index.html folder, because we've already set the views folder. So the moment we use response.render, it knows where it has to look for the pages, and we're going to render the index, and I'm just going to pass in an empty object. So let's see how this works. And one other thing that I would do is I would go into the index.html, and I would just remove the reference to the public folder, because now that we have set Express to specifically load all the static assets from the public folder, there is no specific need to mention the folder inside your HTML. So we're just going to get rid of all references to the public folder. So let's run this app and see what happens. And I'm just going to say node app.js, and let's refresh this file. So when we refresh this, you'll see that we straight away land up at the ChatCat login page, the login HTML page that we had created earlier. So that's how you can set up the Hogan templating engine instead of the Jade engine, which normally ships with Express. And we can set the static folders also, and we can set up the views folder as well. And that's how you can serve your HTML page, which is being rendered in the browser right now. So let me show you one more thing. What we're going to do is, inside our HTML page, I'm going to set the title of the page programmatically. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Hogan template convention for a variable called title, and this is what will be replaced by whatever I set in the node app. So you see this empty object. Instead of keeping it empty, we're going to create a key called title, followed by a value called welcome to ChatCat. Okay, and when this page is rendered, this entire object is passed on to the page, and on the page the Hogan templating engine will replace this instance of the variable title, of the key title, with whatever we have passed inside this object. So let's run this app and see what happens. I'm just going to close the app and restart it. And when I refresh, you can see that it says welcome to ChatCat. So this is something which is being served directly from the node app, and this is how you can get dynamic elements directly from your node app into the page.